Subscribe to our channel and press the bell icon to never miss an update.
You have to associate certain attributes and characteristics to that brand so that it connects to that TG. So it must have a story behind it, and why should I buy it and what is its right to win in the market.
So my name is Pooja Thomas, and I've been teaching at MICA for 4 years now. I teach a course called Cultural Contexts of Communication. It's actually a course that introduces to management students the best parts of cultural studies and cultural studies methods and tools. There's a lot of focus on the consumer and the person who is sort of interacting with the product. But what a cultural understanding enables these students, and it gives them, I think, a unique set of tools which no other business school does, is that it helps them look at the big picture.
So my name is Kaustav. I come from the city of Kolkata. I did my undergrad in engineering also from Kolkata, and then I joined an IT firm. While doing that, I realized it's not something that makes me be very passionate about my work. Now I'm pursuing PGDMC in strategic marketing and communication from MICA. I'm majoring in marketing analytics. So it's not just taking up the storytelling course, but before I came to MICA, to me stories are also just novels or comic books or just any sort of way where we consume stories through content. But I didn't know that stories also revolved around brands, which is something that MICA taught me. And it is something that the storytelling course holistically focuses on in depth. And hence, so 3 of us are professors who are also part of our strategic marketing course, where we talk about how storytelling can be told to engage audiences irrespective of any medium where it is told. When it comes to brand stories, my favorite brand story is Rolex, because I love their tagline which says it doesn't tell time, it tells history. I love how they incorporate people who are timeless in nature, not only in the way they play, but also in many of the sports that they play. So their association with Wimbledon, for instance, and Roger Federer. And they tell a story about their legacy, because they are an old brand and it's Swiss also. A Swiss watch that keeps on ticking, which is very much in persona-wise fits with the personality that Roger Federer is.
So what the course tries to tap into is to draw out practitioners from different art forms. And these are art forms that students will not experience on a day-to-day basis or an everyday basis. Because we are really talking about a generation that is immersed in Netflix, that is immersed in web series, who are all actually fundamentally drawing from the same resource, but they're not, our students or this generation is not exposed to the source themselves. So what this course tries to do is bring the source up close, give them some of those tools, those techniques, give them a sort of insight into what goes on. And of course, it's a course. What it can do is provide a window into these experiences, provide a window into these trainings, into these tools and methods. It is up to each of them to go beyond it.
So I'll tell you one example which I think helped me a lot was the session with Rajat Tuli. So he told when they came up with Ustra, the brand for happily unmarried, they had insights which suggested that men's grooming and men's products is more about machoism. Hence they came up with the idea of focusing specifically using products for men's grooming such as beard. So that is how they structured the entire campaign that they have, which they still run, about Happily Unmarried and Ustra as a product. And all their products revolve around beard oil or beard wash or beard wax. And also they have now moved into grooming products. So it is very important. They could have done something completely different, but they structurized and realized that using those insights, they have to come up with a proposition which is specific enough to tell a story of the brand.
What feeds creativity, or what feeds storytelling, or what feeds the ability to entertain. The institution itself has seen many transitions. It has moved from being a communication school to now a management school, but with a sharp communications sort of focus.
So my favorite story comes from movies. So I think it's probably a movie that I've watched the most number of times. It's the 2 volumes of Kill Bill, because I feel the story revolves around just 2 people. Apart from everything that happens around it, it's actually, in the essence of it, it is actually a love-hate story, where 2 people fall in love and then it doesn't work out for them, and then it's an entire chronology of events happen. and also the way it has been told, where it is non-linear. But at the same time, when it comes to an end, it all falls into place.
So I think this sharp, consistent focus on doing things a little creatively, looking for other solutions to solve the same problem, I think that framing is there in the gene. It has persisted over the years, and it's reflected constantly in our curriculum, which is why we keep offering. We look to offer different things. We look to offer signature courses. And what we realize that a lot of migrants don't have is, an access into storytelling beyond that which is intuitive, So what a lot of people do is tap into very intuitive forms of storytelling that they're already familiar with. But they have no clue that there is a tradition to it, or there is an art to it, or there is a craft to it, or there is a specific cultural context to storytelling, especially in Asia and South Asia. Consumers are not sort of consuming objects, they're consuming relationships. They're making sense of their world. And they're doing it through their shared values, their norms, all of that. So how is it that they do that? And how do we tap into those processes? And more importantly, to map things ahead. I mean, it's all right to know what your consumer is in the ecosystem right now, but how do you predict and tap into what's going to come up next?
So I think primarily storytelling comes its use in brand management and campaign management. So if you have an existing brand which needs rebuilding, or you have a brand which is coming up with a new product, so any sort of new product development, and there is a new brand which caters to a completely different TG than it already has. So you have to associate certain attributes and characteristics to that brand so that it connects to that TG. So it must have a story behind it, and why should I buy it and what is its right to win in the market. So I think that is where this sort of course will be extremely helpful, and also the entire MICA, the course that MICA has to offer to its students, helps all its students to create that sort of a dialogue with the target group.